in Bhakti, as in material life as well, but in Bhakti, definitely, attitude, enthusiasm is everything. And you have a good attitude since you've been here, and you'll learn more. You'll make more spiritual evolution, more with that good attitude. And you become endeared to all the devotees too. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Live from the Govardhan Ecovillage in beautiful downtown Maharashtra. Just kidding. It's Maharashtra's the state. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host Kastuba is taking a break today because he's wiped out. He's doing a lot. We're doing a lot. But I'm here with Mara, and it is going to be a Meet the Pilgrims day today. And we always learn something from people's story, why they came to India, why they're here, what they're getting out of it. Are they in pain? Are they joyous? Et cetera, et cetera. This is episode 1522, and today is January 23rd, 2025. Hello, Mara.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
It's our last full day. Tomorrow is our graduation, and then we ship off to Mumbai. How are you feeling with all that?
I'm always a little sad to leave GV.
Yeah.
You know,
GV's quite.
I've also had an intense day today. It's been a lot.
Day. It's like a lot of fires.
Something going on. A lot going on. There's something with the planets or something. I don't know, but
it might be a planet thing.
Maybe.
It might be a retrograde thing.
Blame Mercury for this.
Let's blame Mercury again. I take no responsibility. It's Mercury's issue. But I will say that even despite the ups and downs of things, first of all, I want to give credit to Mara because she is like behind the scenes, like the puppeteer keeping this whole machine running. Thank you.
Try.
And she's the go-to with like, Raghunath, I got a problem. I'm like, just like throw it right at Mara.
People are like, Raghu, you've transformed my life, and so much inspiration from you, but I just have one little complaint. And he's like, take your complaint to Mara.
Praises, yeah. Complaints, there.
Complaints to Mara. It's true.
But anyway, it's a sweet group, isn't it?
It's a great group. Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, there's some people with health issues, not like India health issues, just
like
some health
severe,
issues,
yeah,
personal health issues that we're trying to take care of them. And yeah, it's great. And Radha Swami's coming to bat because we have this beautiful hospital in Mumbai that he put together. Radha Swami's been super kind with our people too, and super kind with me and Kastuba, and giving us so much time and instruction, and very exciting. So who do we got first today to come on down to meet the Pilgrims?
And her, yeah, come on down.
Come on, Lolita. You had no announcements, Mara? All right, we'll figure that out later. Hello, Lolita, Harry Ball. So now you've been on the podcast before, I think last year at this, 2 years ago this time. So I want you to, you're a little tall. Yeah, I'm a little short. You're a little too tall here.
Sorry.
Get lower.
Okay.
Don't make me look shorts, okay? I've got this optical illusion going on. Yeah, there you go. How are you? So you were on the show, I think a couple of years ago. So why don't you just refresh, because you were here with us for one of the early Wisdom Sages, wisdom training. So why don't you share a little bit about your story and how you got here and your experiences here?
Sure. Yeah, I was here 2 years ago with the crew, doing Kastuba's wisdom training, and my whole family.
It's actually both of our wisdom training, but whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, Ragan.
See, I teach that morning Sangha and that evening Sangha, and he teaches that one little Sangha. But somehow it's Kastuba's training. But whatever.
I think we need to contact your marketing team.
Carry on.
Yeah, I brought my whole family. We were on the podcast 2 years ago telling our story.
Now, sometimes when people say I'm bringing my whole family, they expect a crew of children. Wrong.
No.
You brought
I brought my mom and dad.
You brought your
and
mom
my
and dad.
sister. And my sister and I, we got into Bhakti over 10 years ago. I think it's 12 or 13 years ago now. And my parents decided to tag along. We got them brainwashed, into the cult and became our own little cult. And
Little cult family.
Cult family.
How fun. I think it's so cool. The parents, it's usually just doesn't happen that way.
It doesn't happen. And it was surprising. I mean, I feel like they're very open-minded people, but when they had 2 daughters move into an ashram and be like, you can't drink beer anymore in front of us and don't eat meat. And we sort of,
you were those kids that would just try to like school your parents.
I like to say it was my sister more than me, but everyone says, no, you were just as bad, So
I've had my mom like, Mom, take this meal back. I don't eat garlic anymore. She's like, it's garlic bread. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we got totally schooled hard by them. But then I think the transformation happened, like they were coming along to Kirtan. And then it was back in 2014, we brought them here to GEV with Radhanath Swami.
Amazing.
And he was the secret sauce, and the community here,
He was the secret sauce. That's funny.
The secret sauce. And I think the practice of Bhakti, came alive for them in their own lives.
That's so nice. It's so nice.
Dragging them, and now they drag us everywhere.
That's amazing. Actually, I would love. I tell you, if my mom was like 10 years younger, Mary, I think I could have had her. Because she didn't want it to happen, and then it just happened, and same thing. Tried to school her.
Yeah.
Then, but it's hard to school anybody in my family.
Yeah.
So they just accepted me as I was, and now they sort of like, I think they think it's interesting. It's cool, or it's interesting. I think at the very least they think, yeah, it's an interesting life he leads.
That's Raghu.
That's Raghu. And my mom was coming to the farm when she was a little slightly better health. She's 98. Really going to the Kirtan, clapping in the Kirtan, sometimes just like, she says doing her exercises, but it looks like she's dancing in Kirtan. But everything was good until the Damodar Osticum. She has she's anti-fire.
Oh.
She had like childhood trauma from a fire in her house. So she's like, why is everyone lighting candles? What are you, crazy, lighting candles? But otherwise, she's all in, except for the
candles.
What are the candles? Yeah. When they're the candles, she's into it. So what's your experience this year coming back?
I tell you, it's interesting. Like, I feel like 2 years ago, this retreat really sustained me for a long time. And I came back actually from that retreat, and my life kind of unraveled a little bit in a lot of ways. Like, I just got smashed, a bit of dark night of the soul.
Oh, yeah.
And
sometimes that happens when people come back from India.
Yeah,
they have a high experience and they're like, all right, what do I do with all this? I know what I'll do. Nothing. I'm going to throw away everything I've learned.
Well, it's like that little rope that I think you hang on to coming to something like this, and then coming back after all that and being with all the people here, and being with you guys, and particularly it's just uplifting. And what we learned in Kaustubha's training this time around, doing it a second time.
Twice.
I'm sorry.
Keep going.
But
whatever. I take no offense. Third time he cut the wire.
I just yoink.
What else has Kaustubha done for you?
But yeah, what he's presenting is amazing. He's writing a book about it, and he's just zooming right out. And I think for someone who's been reading the Bhakti text for a while and still trying to find the thread, it can take years to find that thread and where it's coming from historically, and Vyasadeva, and writing from the Vedas to the Upanishads to the Vedanta Sutras, and
seeing how they tie all together.
Seeing
it's
how
big.
they tie together. And just, I think it really hit me like the gravity that I don't think it's hit me before, of like, actually Prabhupada's dropped us right at the Srimad Bhagavatam. We haven't had to necessarily lifetime go through.
Yeah. And maybe you did lifetimes, but it's almost like those Russian dolls where it's like, oh yeah, I get it. I open them. There's the doll. Oh, wait a second. This goes deeper.
There's
Open
another doll.
And it just sort of keeps on going.
Yeah.
And when you find someone who can like string those together,
Yeah.
then it's sort of like, oh, I understand this greater plan that's going on.
Yeah.
Now I understand why this scripture is not emphasized in our tradition, but it's still a bona fide scripture and it's meant to bring you somewhere.
Yeah. but it hits you really hard, like what you guys are offering here, you, Kastuba, Jiva, like it's a very kind of holistic sort of, but deep, you know. And I think coming here too, it's not like necessarily you have beautiful moments of like your nervous system drops, you get that peace and relaxation.
Yeah.
But you're also, you got mirrors coming up in front of your face and things that need to be looked at. And it's
I always
nice to
said that
be.
too. I always said that too.
with
The
other people.
self-realization is like these, not just mirrors, but ever see those what are
Yeah.
those makeup mirrors where you see every like
Oh,
detail
yeah,
on
it's
your
like really magnified.
magnified mirrors. That's what the self-realization. Well,
Yeah.
that was a nice explanation. And how are you going to protect yourself from like have a smoother landing this time?
I think for me, what I'm learning more and more and just being on this retreat too is you can't avoid the feelings and you can't judge it. I mean, we're trying to get to a place of unconditional love and it's got to start at home. So giving yourself that space and time to just feel into it and allow it to pass and move through and transform. And that'll be my practice moving on, I think.
Can I ask you also before you split, how is your experience with Bhakti Recover and Jiva G? How's that?
You know what I really appreciate about Jiva G is she's just straight up honest.
She's straight up honest.
It's not about performing. There's not
so
a
nice.
masks.
It's
Yeah.
so nice, huh?
And I think, you know, in any culture, not just like within Bhakti or ISKCON or, you know, different things, is like we put on masks to protect ourselves. And I love that she just gives full blown permission to just go right in and be yourself.
And I feel like it's a necessity. And I feel like at this ripened age of our society, it's needed. Yeah. Because we realized that putting on too many facades doesn't serve the greatest goal. And in a culture where we're trying to be on our A game and be on our A game, be on our A game and expected to be on our A game, and then all of a sudden, okay, you're qualified, so you're going to lead. But wait a second, I'm still working on myself.
Yeah.
And you have to present as your A game, but we create a culture where vulnerability is just not welcome and it's not good. And so I think she really, it's almost like it's just really integrity driven leadership and integrity driven presence.
Yeah.
And allowing vulnerability to be okay.
But I think that's what you do really well too, Raghu. I think
I do
that's
something.
why you do so much.
I do something.
I'm on the record. I said it. But no. I think that's why you've got so many people who are coming, and because you do make people feel safe that they can just be themselves. So it's important.
You are kind. That's because I'm a hot mess express.
We love hot messes. Join the Bhakti Club.
Thank you so much, Haribo. It's Haribo, her, Lolita. And where are you from? Sydney?
Byron Bay.
Oh, that's the good place. That's the nice place. Huh? Let's go. Can we visit you? Come and stay. Okay. Yeah. I just thought, man, can we go out for coffee there? But yeah, we will stay with you. We will stay with you. Let's bring Jose down here. Jose, come on down. Jose is you're the next contestant here. And Jose has been here since January 1st because he has done both the Mridanga school, and that ended on the 12th of January, and they jumped right into Kirtan school. So with this microphone, you got to hold it. Don't let it cover your face. We got to put your mouth sort of right on it like it's on me right now. And there's your camera, brother.
Right.
Jose.
Okay.
You got to put it right close to your mouth, though.
Okay.
You immediately broke the first rule I gave you. I am not giving many rules. There's like 2. Hold it near your mouth and talking to the mic. That's it. Put it back. Okay. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Mexico City.
Mexico City.
Born and raised in Mexico City.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Nice. And that's where you're living now?
No, I live in Spain, in Valencia.
In Valencia.
Yes.
Okay, great.
My family is from Spain, so I'm
What's
between.
Okay? What's your Kirtan Bhakti background before you showed up here, and how did you hear about the courses?
Okay, so my experience was just walking to a Kirtan in Berlin, actually, and I was chanting, and I just started crying, and my heart just felt this vibration and this connection with mantra, and I kept going, And at some point, I said, maybe I can do it one day and share it with others, because at some point, all these things we learn, I feel like starts to come out, and you want to just keep sharing it so
Sure.
that it reaches more people. So it was simple but powerful,
Wow.
my experience with Kirtan. Yeah,
Sure. And how was your entrance into it, into the Govardhan Ecovillage, into the program?
Yeah.
Everyone, I will say, everybody says this Jose guy, he's got a good attitude. That's what, but I will say we got a
I
lot of
have
good.
great teachers.
We but see, he learned the correct answer. Good. Okay, that's one person.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So,
Um,
what is your what's your experience like since you've been here?
Wow.
Just share for people who've never been here and what you're
Yes.
doing. And
Oh, it's been like a dream, honestly. Like the environment, and we were just talking today. Like I feel like all of these you can learn in many places, but the space makes a huge difference
Mm.
because
Yeah.
we slowly start to open up in this beautiful environment. And I think especially for Bhakti, we're talking about love, we're talking about energy. It's something that it's not about the mind. And when you're in a place that it feels so right,
Mm.
the heart starts to open. And
Mm.
so that's been my experience so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, are you new to Bhakti Yoga philosophy?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm new to
How's it
Bhakti
going?
Yoga.
Is it things
Great.
that freak you out, or things like I know this, or I've heard this before, it makes sense to me, or what are your uh what do you like about it, and what do you sort of like, anything you sort of pull back from?
Yeah, I think r- right now I'm in a moment where I can understand,
Mm.
because I think I first had to go through the understanding of emotions,
Mm.
because I think Bhakti is about the heart.
Mm.
And all my life I studied industrial engineering, I was in finance, like I was really in my mind.
Oh wow.
And if I come to something like this through my mind, I think it will be like chaotic, or
Sure.
I don't know the word, like, it won't connect. But today, after years of practice, years of yoga, I think it completely resonates, and you can really feel it. That's the beauty. Like you start to do the experiment of being here, and then slowly, like,
Sure. That's what we say. Sometimes people get intimidated, especially if they're very new to it and there's like a whole cultural thing going on and it seems very cliquish or clubbish or religionish. And so I always say, like, listen, hey, you're going through an experiment. Look at it like that. You don't have to do any of this stuff when you get home. But while you're here. Why not try these practices? They're not mine. Not trying to get you in my club. I'm not trying to change your religion. But while you're here, why not practice these bhakti practices that have been done for millennia? They've been done for millennia, and they have an effect. And then when you get on your plane, you fly home, you can start to reflect, like, okay, what was valuable? Like, I'm not trying to necessarily get you to join my church, but what was valuable? What can you take home from this that actually resonated with you? And what didn't sort of work, and what can you leave behind? And I think it's good when you go into this immersion like that to keep that frame of reference.
yes,
Yeah.
that helped me a lot. Like at the first days, like
Mm.
when you said, we're here, it released the pressure,
Right.
of like
All right.
so many things. We're working on Kirtan, we're working on all the satsang. Like it was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump in and I will try it out as that. And then it was beautiful because the moment I released more, you get much more out of it. So
It's almost like this stuff. It's like you have to be ripe for it, and as long as there's some type of fear or suspicion, almost, it's like you can't let in anything. You can't let your guard. But once there's some like humility or some vulnerability or some desire to learn, and you feel like, okay, there's no pressure, I can do this, whatever this, at my own pace. We're not attached. I mean, I go into this. I couldn't care less if everybody becomes like me, joins my church, opts into my religion. I have lots of friends that have nothing to do with spirituality, that are yoga students, but they're just my friends. I just like them. But I feel like if you want to go deeper, I met today this really nice, because I'm in a play. I'm in the play this afternoon. Of course, they chose me. They chose me as the demon. Of course, it's like rocking off. It's not gonna be hard for you. I was like, what do you mean by that? But anyway, they chose me as Shankachuta the demon. And it was all these Russian ladies or Christian. It's me and like 12 Russian ladies. It's quite amusing. And then so anyway, I had to run onto the set. But back in front of the set, this is all outside, was these two young Indians, maybe 25 years old. And they were I was standing right next to them and they were just looking at me. And I said, "Hi, how are you?" They said, "Good. Where are you from?" And I started speaking a little Hindi, impressed them a little bit. And then we started talking. And I said, "Do you come here a lot?" He goes, "I come here when we want peace. So I've been here like 15 times. We just walk around, me and my friend." And then I start talking to him and he says, "Well, why aren't you Christian?" And I said, I grew up Christian. And I still consider myself a Christian, meaning I think Christ would be happy with where I'm at, in my life. And I said, and I tried to use that analogy, which I really like, of like when I was in high school, you get like a pocket dictionary. It's like a dictionary. It's a real dictionary, but it's like a small one you can put in your pocket. And then in the old days of going to the library, you have these gigantic dictionaries. They're the same. They're both dictionaries, but one gives you detailed information, maybe 50 definitions of the word love, whereas the pocket dictionary might give you 4, something like that. So I was like, Vedic teaching, Sanatana Dharma, it teaches you all these questions. In Christianity, we just talk about heaven and hell. We talk about the soul. Whereas in Sanatana Dharma or Vedic teachings, they teach, what is the soul? Are you the soul? Do you have a soul? Where does the soul go? You talk about heaven and hell. What is hell like? The Vedas talk about layers of hells, millions of hells, and they talk about them as temporary places. They talk about heavens, millions of heavens, layers of heavens, and they talk about what it's like there and the problems with heaven. And what's the problem of heaven? Just like hell. It's like the benefit of hell is you don't have to go there eternally. And that's the problem of heaven. You don't get to stay there eternally. You keep going round and round like a wheel until you decide it's all temporary. Big deal. It's all going to change. How do I get out of this wheel? And so Hindus, Buddhists, people have this concept of samsara. How do I get out of this mess of ups and downs of the world? And so, and as I was saying, of course, I was saying it with like Sanskrit words. I was saying Bhur-bhavaha Swa, and they're like, listen, they would go, Prabhu, you know more than we do about our own religion. And so I said, okay, anyway. But they got that analogy and they appreciated that. We appreciate it. And I think that's why India has always been a hub for spiritual seekers throughout the world. There's so much information here. How's your courses, by the way?
Amazing. We have the best teachers, Lala, Bobby, and everyone has jumped in and out. And I'm a beginner, so I came here with no experience at all, just love for Kirtan. And I'm surprised that tomorrow we're gonna do a little show.
They're doing a little graduation show
graduation
for us.
show, and
Looking
I
forward
was
to
like,
it.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it off, but today we did it. So
Oh, nice.
something's working.
Congratulations.
Yes.
The experiment is working.
Yes, no, definitely.
I just want you to say, in Bhakti, as in material life as well, but in Bhakti, definitely, attitude, enthusiasm is everything. And you have a good attitude since you've been here, and you'll learn more. You'll make more spiritual evolution, more with that good attitude, and you become endeared to all the devotees too. So thank you so much,
Totally.
Prabhu.
No, Prabhu, thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Honored. All right, Jose, Haribo. Now we're gonna bring on Jose's teacher, Miss Lala. Come on down, Lala, Haribo. Young Miss Lala, she was discovered. Just like you. So now Lala is only 20 years old, but last year when we did our Mayapur pilgrimage, we visited her parents' house. Her parents invited us over. Her parents listened to Wisdom of the Sages. And they have a very beautiful house in Mayapur on the banks of the Jalangi River. It's such a gorgeous, charming, little humble but devotional spiritual place. And it's quite breathtaking. And they invited us over for dinner, our whole group, and Kirtan. And we got to hear Lala play Mridanga and then sing a little. And me being like, I'm just taking notes. I was like, this kid. And she grew up a devotee, right? Where did you grow up? Now you got to hold this mic right to your mouth. Don't let me repeat myself again.
I grew up in British Columbia, Sharonagati. It's 4 hours up from Vancouver.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely devotee community. There's like 60 people. It's really small. Lots of Prabhupada disciples, so like amazing association always. And there's this wonderful Gurukul there called Govardhan Academy. And basically anything I know, any skills I have is all from my teachers, Kar Tamasha and Radhakund.
Yeah.
And they really help, of course, with my parents. Seeing my father's sadhana growing up, he would wake up at 4 a.m. practically every day and then chant all of his japa and then go work like from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that
Wow.
was his
routine.
That was his routine. And just seeing that and then being in a wonderful school, it just, it put
You
me
were-
on a good path.
You're really, it's a very sheltered life,
Yes.
but you know what? It's a very crazy world. Why not? It's almost sound like sometimes we say sheltered life like it's a bad thing. Hey, it's chaos out there, people. Shelter your children. Prabhupada called the public schools a slaughterhouse.
My God.
You know, and in one sense, you could see, just like if according to the Greeks and the Indians, that the goal of education is to build character. How many people built character in their American high school? No, it's the last thing I built. That's like, I learned to become like a royal scumbag in high school, and a royal one though. But I will say it's impressive. And then what happened at a certain point? You moved to Mayapur?
Yeah, so my parents and I, we like came to Mayapur on different occasions. My elder sister, Chaya, she moved there. She found her husband, and when she was getting married, my parents went to surprise her, and that was 2017. And then they came back, and my parents were like, "Oh, do you want to try seeing Mayapur for like 10 months, live with your sister?" And I was like, "Sounds good." So I went, and then we came back. Me and my parents were all in Sharonagati. It's off grid, so it is an intense life, and my parents were kind of done working in that material atmosphere, and so
Like living on a farm.
yeah,
It's exhausting,
because
you
they were
know?
working in a neighboring town,
Oh, okay.
so they had to like drive all the time, and these
Okay.
winters are intense, and so they were kind of like,
Yeah.
what, our eldest daughter is in Mayapur, why don't we go? And then they asked me, they're like, "Hey, what do you think about moving to Mayapur?" And I was like, "Let's go." I had such a good time. I was there when I was 15.
Did you go
And
to school there or no? You
no,
were sort
I
of
was just
homeschooled.
yeah, I was homeschooled and then just going on parikrams, and my sister would take me to Darshan Arti every day. So it was really such good support from my family,
How
honestly.
fun.
So fun. It
For
was
some
great.
reason, Linda is laughing. Different than your childhood, you said? Yeah, Linda says so different from her childhood. Yeah,
Krishna
it
gave me
is.
so much mercy. So much
Krishna
mercy.
gave you so much mercy, and we had lunch together today, and Lala was saying how just like, yeah, I just want to be a better devotee, and it's just like I can't understand why more people aren't into what we're into. It's like such a great culture that we have. She was just so naturally enthusiastic about Vaishnav culture, and it just happens when you have that association with very high vibed, high minded people, and it's like your parents did a great job, just like
Yeah.
now you're also, although you're very accomplished at music and mridanga and harmonium, you for the first time really taught it
Yeah.
as a teacher. How was that experience?
I was really nervous in the beginning, not gonna lie, because it is exactly that. It's like if you can do something well, but how are you gonna teach it? So it was really great. I really just prayed. I was like, I really wanted everyone to walk away with the confidence to share kirtan, whether it's supporting someone by playing mridanga or kartals and finding their service. And I think it went well. I mean, they're all playing, they're all singing, like everything, and it's like it's amazing. It's so inspiring to see, and it's exciting. I feel like a proud mom.
Oh, I think you should be, because we've heard people say, "Oh, she is the best teacher." So
I'm trying.
I think it's very natural, and we're hoping you come visit the farm this year too.
Doing as well.
That's a plan. And so, what's your next plan?
My next plan.
First of all, are you initiated devotee?
I am not an initiated devotee, but hopefully in the future, that's another prayer I have, because I'm chasing that good association. So
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
What do you want to do for the next 5 years of your life? You're 20.
I'm 20. Well, I would really
You guys were all doing this when you were 20, right? It's like,
I just want to find good association, and I'm lucky enough to have found it, and just not kind of, I want to dive deeper. I have been the importance of Srila Prabhupada's words and what he's given us and what he's shown us has just been really like sinking in lately. So that's kind of like the next 5 years is to study, to do service. However, I can show Srila Prabhupada my service and just show gratitude in that way.
who is this kid? Who is she? Can I tell you I'm going to tell you about a spiritual dream I had. It was a very, I've had dreams where like, it's not a normal dream. This is a spiritual dream. It's like almost like a different film. But I had a dream. I was walking on the beach with Prabhupada. You know how you do those famous Los Angeles morning walks on the beach? And I was on that walk. And we have a tendency to hear about, the saints of, Bengal from 500 years ago, or the saints of Vrindavan, or the saints of South India. It always seems like something in the past. But Prabhupada started to tell me about all the great acharyas that are going to appear on the planet. And I was just like, Prabhupada, I never thought about that acharyas are coming and getting sent forth to appear. I think it's you. You might be one of them, Prabhu.
That's with you. Look at what you're doing.
But I'm serious. It's like, it's amazing. Like these births of, it talks about in the Bhagavad Gita, a person who's practicing yoga and is not, and they practice for a while, but they're not super successful. They take birth in aristocracy. They get what's called good karma, and we know that good karma for a person practicing bhakti, who cares about good karma? Good karma can ruin your life. But they say for a person who's practicing yoga for a long time, but they're yet to reach perfection, they take birth in a family of devotees. They take birth in a family that's already very focused on spiritual principles. And that's what your sister have done. And because of it, at 15, you're like, yeah, let's move to Mayapur, because every 15-year-old is saying stuff like that in America.
My parents, they're people I look up to. My mom, she was a single mother of 2 kids, and she was like full throttle into it. She got initiated like 4 years later than when she joined. I think I was at her initiation when I was little, but like it's just I was a part of that samskar, and so I really thank them for laying that foundation out for me to have this desire at all.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Anyway, we're impressed with you, Lala. Keep up the good work, and it's a pleasure, and we're looking forward to do so many more things with you.
I really look forward to it. Thank you so much for scouting me out. I would not be here without you. So
thank you. I'm hoping someday people extend their hand to my kids, because I love seeing second generation who have skills. But in one sense, what good is a mridanga player if you're like working at Walmart or working for UPS? It's like, in one sense, it seems like a useless skill, but it's not. Vedic culture is such an actually valuable skill. So part of my feel like I way to serve Prabhupada would be take these generations of kids who have these skills, instead of having them throw it away, see if they can engage it with American yoga students or people who are interested in this culture. And
it's
because
so fun sharing it. I'm so excited sharing it. I'm like, my life is great because like Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, please like join the club.
Yeah, it's a great club.
So fun.
Thank you. Can I join your club?
Yes.
All right. Thank you,
I'm
Lala.
in your club.
Haribo. Lala, Haribo. She's good, Amir. She's great. Is Tinica here? Tinica, have we been calling you Tinica all these years? Oh, okay. Come on down. She's our regular Zoomer. A regular Zoomer who has never corrected us for I guess, yeah, because we've kept you muted. So if you're on Zoom, you recognize the girl I've been calling, the lady I've been calling, Tinica. But how do you say her name?
Tinica.
So much prettier. Tinica.
Kostuba says it's right.
Wow. It is just like Bang on Ray all day. Tinica, how are you?
I'm good.
You've been
Okay.
struggling with some health issues. Now
Yeah.
you got to put the mic right on your
Yeah.
mouth, but don't cover your lovely face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So how are you? You've been struggling with some health issues due to
Yeah, I had 2 major allergic reactions to food.
us.
I found out I'm allergic to papaya, and I didn't know that.
Oh,
So, and my lungs are my weak spot.
Oh,
So
no.
now I think I have like an infection in my lungs.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So I feel a bit sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is your backstory? How did you get into Bhakti? Have you been into it a long time? First of all, you're from Holland.
Yeah, the
What
Netherlands. Yeah.
what part?
In the south,
In the south?
near Tilburg.
Near Tilburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I was like in my teens, I already was kind of interested in yoga, Vedic culture, but not like really. I knew what the Bhagavad Gita was. Um, so it always lingered a bit, I guess.
Sure.
How to say. I studied as a nurse. Um, and worked as a nurse for quite a long time. Didn't really like it, and I
It's a
in the
tough
mean
job.
yeah, it really is. And yeah, I liked to practice yoga a lot for also for managing the stress,
Sure.
like asana, the physical thing only. And so I kept doing that like on and off. Stopped doing that. And in 2008, I went to India. I didn't have any clue. And I got to travel around for like 2 months.
How was that?
Was really nice.
Where'd you go?
I went to Rajasthan
Nice.
and I went up in the mountains, so Rishikesh, Haridwar, and I all the way to Badrinath.
Nice.
Yes,
How's Badrinath?
that was lovely. That was the best ever. Yeah, I walked like really high. Yeah.
Did you walk to Badrinath?
No, I went with the bus
Oh, that's a little
from
scary.
Haridwar. Yeah, that was a thing. The bus to here is nothing.
Yes, the
There's nothing.
bus from Bombay to Mumbai to Govardhan Ecovillage is nothing. It's a
Nothing.
winding road with landslides on the left and no guardrails on the right
Yes.
and very steep cliffs. And people get sick just being on that bus ride.
Yeah.
And then you hit the altitude sickness point.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
How did you do with your body and your health and your diet there on that trip?
That was okay. Yeah, kind
There's-
of okay.
There's
Yeah.
something about just like traveling in India where you're not in that container of protection. You're just like on your own. That's sort of a little scary.
Yeah. I actually never got sick those 2 months,
Mm.
even not from the food, nothing. So no.
That's nice.
So that's nice. Yeah, really. Yeah.
And then how did you, okay, so that was a while ago and you had a positive experience.
Yeah. So, and I was in Rishikesh and I had to travel through Rishikesh. So I stayed there for one night, like, okay, I give it a go because I didn't feel like going there actually because of all the tourists and like, oh, yoga.
Right. Rishikesh, if you don't know, it's a classic yoga place. And of course, Lord Ram went there, but the classic yogis like Maharishi Mahesh Yogi had an ashram there, and Shivananda has an ashram there. And it becomes very touristy. People looking for yoga, sort of looking for God, sort of looking for marijuana, sort of looking for like a German bake shop, and it looks very beautiful. And
Yeah,
and it is a holy place, but it's sort of covered over by sort of hippie-ish tourism a little bit, would you say?
Yeah, yeah, actually is, yeah. But yeah, when I actually got there and there was the yoga festival. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I ended up staying there for a few days and I took every class I could take and I just loved it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I was like, okay, I need to practice this like so but yeah, then I met my husband, I got married, got 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
Um and did also yoga for pregnant women.
Yep.
I loved it and it helped me a lot for for having a baby. And then after the last one, I got more physical problems as well. And I found out that practicing yoga, the asana regularly would really keep me, on track.
Mm.
So I was going to practice more and studied a bit of Ayurveda as well. And then I wanted to learn to be a yoga teacher as well. So I started doing that, and I started to have a steady practice, practice like
Steady
getting
breakfast.
up. Yeah, steady breakfast. No, I don't have breakfast actually, never. But yeah, I wake up at 5, then I do my cleansing, and I go downstairs, do my mantras,
Mm.
and then do my asana, and then I'm ready for the day.
Nice.
So that's what I
And
do.
how did you wind up with Wisdom and Sages? Because you listen every day live.
I try to, yeah. And I'm also listening from episode 1 up.
Oh
So
wow,
I
you're
try to,
going back and starting from the beginning. That's impressive too.
yeah. And so
Well-
every time I have this time, I'm
Well,
try to-
spoiler alert. Me and Mara are dating.
I'm almost there.
You're almost there. But it gets very dramatic. The whole thing becomes very dramatic.
Okay, I'm curious now. I'm nearing episode 600.
You're
so
nearing
I
episode
think
6.
it's
I can't
around
remember
there.
where I'm at. I might be dying in the hospital. Did you go through COVID yet? When I had
Yeah.
COVID?
No, not.
I'm gonna get COVID soon.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's not pretty. I think I'm dying. I'm in the hospital with my Govardhan stone on my chest. That's where I'm at.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of twists and turns. I
Okay.
try to keep. I try to go through all these things for you, for just keep the listenership high.
Yeah.
So, how did you get to Wisdom and Sages, though? How did
Yeah.
like what was that bridge?
Yeah, so I also studied Advaita Vedanta with like a group. It was during COVID, online, and like reading also the Bhagavad Gita. And this guy who was teaching, he always was speaking about Bhakti people, and he had always this spark in his eyes when he was speaking about the Bhakti, and he used to live
People.
for 7 years in India for his study, and he just loved the Bhakti thing, so to say.
Mm.
And I was like, why? And he was repeating it like very often. And the Advaita Vedanta thing, it was not really my thing. Like it was like so linear, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. So in the end, I dropped out. And I started reading more about Bhakti and also listening to Kirtan. And it just touched my heart so like intensely. And I love to listen to Ellen Arthur. I got in contact with her, and she tipped me to do some things, to listen to some things. And
Who's Alan
also,
Arthur?
she's an Australian kirtan singer,
Okay.
kirtani. And she tipped me to listen to your podcast. So I started doing that last
Alright.
year.
Small world.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's how it started.
And how's your training going? What's your experience like at the Govardhan Ecovillage? And
Yeah, I really love being here. It's like, I don't want to go home.
it's like
But I miss my kids
you miss
a
your
lot.
kids. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also I really love to go early morning to the temples, and I go to satsang, and then I go back to the temples again. So I'm really into that thing,
It's nice.
and I'm gonna miss that because in Holland we don't. Yeah, I don't have it near my house, so I'm going to miss
Did you
that.
get any Ayurvedic treatments?
No, I did not. No.
Okay. Yeah, it's a special thing, especially since you've been traveling through India and with all its magic and all its chaos interwoven. Radha-Swami really created a bubble of sanity here, didn't he?
It's lovely. Yeah.
It's so lovely.
Quite something. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
quite something.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
yeah.
too.
It's magic. Yeah.
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 We're about to go into the insanity, Mara, back out on the road. But I'm glad you came. I'm glad I got to meet you in person, and I'm glad I will say your name correctly now.
Yeah.
Tinica.
Thank you for having me.
Tinica.
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 Yeah.
Tinica. Got it. I'll hold it.
You're right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was beautiful. How are we doing? You know what? I think that might have to be it, Miss Mara, because I've got a performance to do as a demon. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Want to thank Miss Mara. We are having a show tomorrow.
Yeah, we're driving to Mumbai and planning on getting a show when we
Driving-
get there.
Okay, as soon as we get there, we're doing a show. So regular Zoomers show up. All the others out there, we are on for tomorrow, Friday. And the next day is the Flower Festival. That day we might take off, I think,
Yeah, that's
because it's going to be a
sad.
little difficult. No show Saturday.
Right.
And a show Sunday. A show is happening Sunday. I'm trying to get this wonderful lady, Mandakini, who was one of the first devotees to go to the Soviet Union and married the first Russian devotee in like 1971. She's got like an incredible story. She came from hanging with George Harrison and Yamuna Devi and then flying to Russia and getting married and the KGB following her around. It's quite a good story. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. I really want to thank all the Pilgrims on the Meet the Pilgrims episode. Harry Bo, love having you guys. You're all inspirational from around the world. Looking forward to doing this next year and having more and more people come. And I'd love to just fill this place with people every year. And always inspirational every time really truthfully every day. I never go to bed and be like, I'm thoroughly depressed. I'm always like, this is good. And it's in those like immersive highs that you can actually go back. Like Jose, he's got an immersive high that he'll take back with him. You know what I mean? And that can last the whole year. Thanks everybody. Beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow in a big Haribo.